children, good morning. Welcome back. I, Hetal Shah, would like to continue with the formal letter. In the last session, we had talked about the informal letter and I had given you an assignment to write informal letters. Now, let us see what is a formal letter. Formal letters are usually used for official purpose. What is official purpose? Official purpose means when we are writing a letter to any officer or principal, teacher or any head of any institution. Okay, now let us see the format of the formal letter. When we talk about the format of the formal letter, the very first thing that we mention is the sender's address. Now, what is the meaning of sender's address? If I am writing the letter, then I am the sender. Now, when I write the address of the sender, that is about myself, then I write it on the top left hand corner. This is the left side and this is the right side. So, on the left hand corner, on the top side, we write the sender's address. Okay, the next thing that comes in the formal letter is the address's address, or you may say the receiver's address. जिनको हम खत लिख रहे हैं, जिनको हम फॉर्मल लेटर लिख रहे हैं, उनका एड्रेस हमें इसके नीचे लिखना है. किसके नीचे? It is written on the left, starting below your address. So, where you have written your address, below that you have to write the receiver's address. Okay. Now, next comes the date. Where you are supposed to write the date? On the left. On a line after the name and address of the addressee you are writing to. जिसको आप खत लिख रहे हो, वहाँ पे on the left side. On the left side you have to write the date. Okay. Now, after writing all these things, you will write the salutation. What is the meaning of salutation? Whenever you start any letter, you start with dear sir or dear madam. Now, when do you write dear sir or dear madam? When you don't know the name of the person. If you are writing a letter to an unknown person, then you write dear sir or madam. But when you know the name of the person to whom you are writing, then you write as dear Mr. Sharma or whatever surname the person has. So, when you write the salutation like dear Mr. Sharma or dear Mr. Shah or dear Miss Shah, then you have to use the titles like Mr., Mrs., Miss or Doctor. If you are writing to a reputed person and if he or she is a doctor, then you give the salutation as doctor and mention the surname only. Now, sometimes you may also have found salutation like MS. Now, what does MS stand for? MS stands for, if you are writing to a lady and if you don't know whether she is married or unmarried, then this is the salutation that you use before her surname. So, this is said as Miss. But this Miss is different. When you write MISS, Miss is for a girl who is unmarried or for a lady who is unmarried. But MS is a common salutation that we use for a lady whom we do not know whether she is married or not. So, generally, when we write for a lady, we write MS only. Okay. Now, let us see the next thing, that is the subject. This is the main part of the letter because here you can write what your letter refers to. So, if you are clear in this subject, then the person will come to know why you are writing this letter. So, the subject should be only of one line. In one line you have to mention why you are writing the letter. Okay, now let's move on to the next thing, that is body of the letter. This is the main part of the letter again, and it is divided into 3 paragraphs. Mainly it is 3 paragraphs. If you need you can add one more, but generally it is 3 paragraphs. Now when you write the 3 paragraphs, what you have to write in the first paragraph? In the first paragraph, when you write, the first paragraph should be short. In first paragraph you have to state the purpose of the letter. That means what is your purpose of writing the letter? What do you want? When you are writing the letter, what do you want from someone? That you have to mention in this first paragraph. Now the middle paragraph includes, or it mentions, the reason behind writing the letter. I am writing to you because, or I will be remaining absent in the school on account of my illness. So you are mentioning the reason, due to, on account of, or because. These are the words that are used for mentioning the reason behind writing your letter. Okay, now the last paragraph. The last paragraph includes, or it states the action you expect the receiver to take. For example, if you want a leave, so in the last paragraph you will mention and ask the person to give you or to grant you a leave, or any such thing what you want to make that person to do. Okay, now comes the closing part of your formal letter. So while closing the letter, you write below on the left side, yours sincerely or yours faithfully. Now if you do not know the name of the person whom you are sending, then you use most sincerely. And if you know the person's name, then in your letter, in the closing, you use yours faithfully. Now please see that when you are writing this yours, you don't put any apostrophe between R and S, because you make this mistake many a times, that you put an apostrophe between R and S. So when you are writing this closing statement, please write it as yours, yours sincerely or faithfully. Okay, at the last you will write the sender's signature and name. So you will sign at the last and you will write your name. Sometimes if the designation of the sender is applicable means if you have to write, then you will write the designation. What is designation? If you are a teacher and if you are writing to the principal, then when you write your name, below that into bracket you have to write your designation. Even if you don't put the bracket, you can just write downside teacher or whatever designation you are of. Okay, now I will give you some tips of writing a formal letter. Do not use contractions. What are contractions? Sometimes in informal letter we have seen that we use contractions like don't, I am, it's, you are or your. So here we have used the apostrophes. These are used in informal letters. In formal letter, when we write the formal letter, we write the words in full, like do not instead of don't, I am instead of I am, it is instead of it's, you are. So these are the full words that we use in the formal letter. Do not use informal language. Sometimes when you write the letter, you use the words like hey, how are you? Hey, what's up? Or hi, how do you do? So these are the words that are used in the informal letter, not in the formal letter. So please take care that when you write the formal letter, you write it in a proper language. Okay, don't forget to use capital letters and the correct punctuation marks. Please, whenever you are writing something, please start the sentence with the capital letter. Don't forget to put commas, full stops wherever needed. Sometimes these commas and full stops, they change the meaning of the sentence. So please be careful and write the letter properly. Now in the next video I will give you a sample of a formal letter and your assignment will be to write formal letters. Hope you have understood how to write a formal letter. If you have any doubt, please feel free to ask me anytime. Have a nice day. Thank you.